you had 7 defeats in your career, but it didn't stop you winning a world title. So that coming back, overcoming the speed bumps was key to your career, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Sort of sticking with it and overcoming that and not walking away when a lot of people probably would have done. You just mentioned it then there, Yusuf Alamidi's name. I say it all the time, and this is no disrespect to Yusuf. There's not many fighters who lose to an ice cream man, which was his part-time job early on in the career, and then go on to Mr. Whippy Joe, thanks. And then go on to win a world title. But I think a roller coaster, to say the least, is it probably doesn't describe my career. I'm not just saying it because he's at the end of the table, but I think Joe took me on at a time when very few people thought I'd achieve a fraction of what I did. So I think you look at my career and sort of sticking with something, sort of not taking no for an answer, and basically never giving up, and coming back stronger. Like you said, I had my fair few defeats, but without sounding cheesy, it wasn't always, I didn't look at it as a loss, it was a lesson. And like you say, I had a few harsh lessons, but in the end, at the time it seemed like the end of the world, but I wouldn't change them. That made me who I was, that was the path that I was on, and that gave me the career that I had.
I know you've been asked a few times since retiring, and you retired on a high. You got that win, you've gone out the way you wanted to at the Manchester Arena, the place that became your home, your house.
Yeah.
When you do have to isolate one high, it's very hard to do that, because there were significant highs, like a Kieran Farrell win when the pressure was on, like a Gavin Rees. But everyone will talk about the world title fights, but it's not that cut and dried. So a different kind of, you've got different kind of highs, if you like, and career highs.
Yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned, then I remember the Gavin Rees fight. My missus, she was heavily pregnant with my son, and that was probably the difference in winning that fight. That allowed me to have the contract with Matchroom Boxing. If I would have lost that fight, then I still, to this day, I think I probably wouldn't have been able to be a full-time professional. I had a little boy on the way. It was almost due, and that sort of allowed me to get the money to put a deposit down on a house. And it's just, that's a fine line sometimes, and I think you could see after that fight with my reaction what it meant to me. That was one of the most important nights in my career. There's been so many. It's just, I remember winning a British title at short notice, and Callum's brothers being in the changing rooms after it, and I'd always obviously looked up to them from the amateurs, and they was helping me take my boots off and stuff like that, and it's stuff, just fond memories that you remember. It's not as simple as just winning the world title. That's the obvious side. There's been so many, but if I did have to pick two out, it was either that, the night my dreams come true, winning that world title, or defending a world title. Being introduced as a world champion by Michael Buffer, he's probably the coolest man on the planet, isn't he? Even at his age, and to be introduced by him as from Manchester as a world champion, and to walk out still world champion in a fight where I was, as an underdog, that's probably the highlight of my career.